Hi and welcome to the Indulge podcast with me, Romal Laisram. Like every week, I'm in conversation with someone super interesting. I'm in conversation with Chef Pooja Dhingra, which I've been wanting to do forever. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me your seat.
Absolutely, anytime. I will give you a seat anytime you ask for it. So, Pooja, I have been a huge fan of your stuff. I have eaten your macarons forever. I call you the macaron queen because you truly deserve it. Tell us where this journey began and how did you get into this and saying that I will take this one thing and make it super popular and make it accessible to the rest of the country.
You know, I feel like today it feels so natural for people to just take one thing and do it. When I started, it really wasn't. So I tried my first macaron when I was a student in Paris at Le Cordon Bleu, and it was love at first. It was such a cliche. It was love at first bite. You know, I was asking myself questions at that point because pastry was so different then.
True, true.
You didn't have standalone pastry shops.
Absolutely.
You didn't have, so you had to go to a five-star hotel to really get something good. So the macaron was something where I was like, okay, I've never seen this. I love it. You can do so many different things with it. Why is it not available in India? So I came back. I was 23 at the time,
Wow.
and I said, okay, let me start experimenting. And slowly, I did everything. You know, I was in like malls with a little table with macarons, handing people, you know, samplers. Like, give me feedback. What do you
Nice,
think?
nice,
So I did all of that for long, and when I got the feedback that people actually really like it, and nobody was doing that kind of thing, I just saw like opportunity. I also feel like I was at the right place at the right time, and yeah, it's just been like you know, very like what used to bother me a lot when I came back to India was that restaurants had menus that were like with 100 items.
True,
And
true.
it was like, how can, and this multi cuisine of like everything, and used to always, for me it was like, how can you do so many things well? So for me it was always, I rather do a few things and do them well. So it was always about what can I subtract from my menu instead of what can I add.
Add to it.
And so that's where it all began.
Nice. So, at what point of time did you say, okay, now I've pushed the macro enough, and I'd like to get into other things because now you have
Yeah.
a huge menu. So,
Yeah. So I mean the menu pretty much remains the same. We haven't done anything that is. We still believe in doing smaller things and doing the, you know, we add seasonal things and products like that. But COVID actually was a great time to kind of push boundaries for us because suddenly the dynamics of eating out changed. Everything kind of changed. So we got into FMCG. We started doing packaged food, which was completely new for me. You know, the rules of the game completely changed. The way you make your dessert. So as a pastry chef, I had to unlearn everything and then relearn things again. So, you know, we do packaged cookies, hot chocolate mixes. We introduced a cookie which we call it dipki because, you know, during COVID, the chai, coffee time was so sacred.
Absolutely.
So we actually made a little accompaniment that goes well with it. So
How
for me,
nice.
that whole journey of creating the product, making sure it's shelf stable, then the distribution of it, getting it in supermarkets, understanding what that whole business is like has been completely like challenging, let's just say, but also a great learning experience.
Fabulous. With someone like you who's traveled the world, who's seen cuisines all across the world, what is the last cuisine that you came across that absolutely blew your mind?
You know, so I feel like while I've traveled a lot in India, there's still so many parts of regional Indian cuisine that were still not, or were a little bit alien to me. In March of this year, I went to Bhubaneswar, and I just, you know, every bite was just like
yes.
so flavorful. The way ingredients are used, just the seeing how, you know, what all goes on a thali. I think for me that was really exciting.
And their desserts, my
Oh
God.
my God! Yeah,
Absolutely
Yeah.
mind blowing. Since we're talking about, you know, women supporting women, chefs supporting chefs, the last of any particular chef that comes to mind, a woman chef who's been doing something really inspiring to you personally.
You know, there's so many, and I am so lucky to know so many of them. Someone that I really admire and look up to is Chef Garima Arora. And, you know, I spoke to her yesterday and I said, you're like this superstar. Like, how do you do everything, you know? And then in Bombay recently, there's, you know, a new brand called Vanilla Miel.
Yes,
And they've
yes.
just opened their first cafe.
Okay.
And Isha Shetty is a chef there. And I think what she's doing is really amazing.
How's
and she's
the food?
Really,
Tell us, our
the
audiences
food
would
is,
love.
I mean, it's excellent. Like it's
Lovely.
a little quaint little bungalow in the middle of Pali village, and really you enter and you feel like you could be in any city in the world.
How nice.
And everything is so chic and done so well.
Lovely.
And the desserts, obviously, I feel like each generation of chefs that come in, they just elevate and uplift the
Lovely.
industry a little bit. And I really think those girls are doing it. So they're two sisters. So I think they're really
Amazing.
ones to watch out for.
This has been Romal Laisram on the Indulge podcast in conversation with Chef Pooja Dhingra. My last question to you is, I'm sure, something that everyone wants to know. You're the dessert queen, you're the macaron queen, you're brilliant with sweetmeats and all of that. But when you go back home and you're looking for something comforting and you're looking for something that sets you for the day, what is the one dish that you go to?
You ready for it?
Yes.
Dal khichdi.
Are you serious? Wow. And how do you prefer it? With like pickle at the side, ghee, what do you do?
I mean, really simple. It's like the normal dal khichdi we make at home with some dahi and maybe papad, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been in conversation with Chef Pooja Dhingra. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
looking
very
forward to your dessert at this
Yeah, I'm
presentation.
excited.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.